Welcome back to BYU Sports Station. We're hanging out live in Studio B. He is Jarom Jordan. I'm Spencer Linton. Let's welcome in the BYU Football Director of Player Personnel, Justin Anderson, for a few reasons. Because another signing day is right around the corner, Wednesday, February 7th. Also, I want to talk about some guys that are trying to pursue their pro dreams at different All-Star games. Justin, welcome back to the show.
Great to be back.
You were just hanging out with Kingsley Suamataia as he gets ready for the Reeses Senior Bowl. What was that experience like to be there with Kingsley, and how's he feeling about the approaching draft and what he has to do in terms of work before the draft?
Yeah, so I got there really the first day of practices, and I thought he represented himself well. He played, I mean, from the individual work to the one-on-ones to the teamwork, I thought he did a great job. So I think he's put himself in good position. You know, you're seeing a lot of really good players. That's the nice thing, is you're competing against really good players. Like, these are guys that you expect to be drafted and play on Sundays. So I think you get to see where you're at, and I think he did really well.
What's it like to kind of walk around, and I'm sure you're fielding questions from GMs and player personnel guys from NFL teams?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, a lot of questions. They want to know background type stuff, you know, character, work ethic, that kind of deal. And the nice thing about BYU is those are usually pretty easy questions for us. We really do have a great group of kids, and the guys that are trying to make it to the draft, it's been easy conversation with those guys.
How much do you have to sell? Like, obviously, BYU wants to have high-level draft picks. The more first-round draft picks, the better. So how much of an opportunity do you have to be like, oh, yeah, like, we're putting all these guys in the NFL. You're pointing out the big-time draft picks. How much of an opportunity do you have to do that with guys as you try and help better the status of your players that are competing in these games?
Yeah, I think when you get a reputation of having guys that have success. So BYU, I think not only do they put guys in the NFL, but I think the guys that do go have had good success, which I think is a really big selling point as you're talking to young men. Hey, we can help develop you to get there. But the reality is most of these kids have the innate traits, right? You're looking for, part of the reason I like to go to these the combines and the NFL bowl games is you get to see, like, body types. What do they look like? What do they move like? And so, you know, Kingsley, you can tell he fits in. He doesn't look like a fish out of water. So, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's an easy selling point for us when we can say, hey, you know, look at this guy, look at that guy. Look, this guy was drafted in this round. We're able to put guys not only in the draft, but then they're going to play at a high level.
Specifically at left tackle, this is going to be BYU's third straight starting left tackle who's going to get drafted,
Correct.
Which is big time. And so what does that mean to the program? Obviously, quarterback's the most high-profile position, but left tackle might be the second best position to be putting in the league.
I mean, I think it's obviously a very important position. I mean, guys are drafted at a high level, and that's a very valuable position in the NFL. I mean, I think that's one of those positions nowadays that you could see 4 or 5 tackles get drafted in the first round, sometimes more, because people are looking for guys that can play that edge to protect against these defensive ends. Man, when you're at these bowl games, you see some of these defensive ends. I mean, they are twitchy.
Justin Anderson is with us on BYU Sports Station. All right, let's talk about the Shrine Bowl, because Isaac Rex, Keaton Slovis, Ryan Rico, all there competing, doing their thing, trying to increase and improve their own draft profiles. So let's just start with Isaac. Like, where is Isaac when it comes to an NFL potential, and how have you seen him develop from the season end to where he is now?
Yeah, I think being healthy for him has been key. You know, I think he had a whole healthy offseason from the ankle surgery. I think he had a great season. The great thing about Isaac's, he's been productive. So you say all you want, he's productive. And I think that matters in the NFL. Production matters. And he does have the measurables. So I think he's done a good job of putting himself in a good position to have an opportunity to play the next
Hey, a
one.
one-handed catch for a touchdown doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, and then in the
beautiful.
games, he's playing well.
And then he made it to the BYU UCF basketball game right after that, which was also fun. Like, they were playing on campus. He made it to the game, which was super cool. And he's been in multiple games, which is good. Good exposure.
Yes.
Talk to me about Keaton Slovis, because obviously the numbers weren't what he wanted at Pitt and then at BYU. Yet he's got some of the goods that NFL general managers want and whatnot. Hopefully he can get an undrafted free agent opportunity. What's the conversation around him right now?
Yeah, I think, you know, the nice thing about Keaton is he's played in different systems, so you know he can learn a system really quickly, which in the NFL is a big deal. And he has a really good arm. And in the NFL, those things matter a lot more than people, I think, realize, is this ability to throw the ball at a high level and arm strength, and he has those tools. So I think he's done a good job, and he's a really good kid. He's got good character. He showed some leadership for us. And those things at that position are really important, to be able to show leadership.
Now that we're done with the season, we're looking back on Keaton Slovis's BYU days. How much light can you shed on just what he was dealing with injury-wise and other challenges-wise while he was at BYU for this 1 year?
Yeah, and the thing about Keaton is I thought he handled everything like such a pro. And I think that says a lot about his character and why he was voted a captain by the team. Is it's frustrating to be injured, but his desire to kind of be back and help the team, that never lacked. It was never like, I'm done. It was like, what can I do to get back? And so he worked to get back the best that he could, and it just unfortunately didn't work out to where he was. But he's healthy now, and he's throwing. He's in these, the bowl game and having a chance to show himself. And then we'll have the pro day coming up, the Big 12 Pro Day, where these guys are going to have a chance to do that again. So every little opportunity to present yourself to these guys is important, and I think our guys are doing a great job. The ones that have had a chance so far are representing themselves very well.
It's hard to make it as a specialist, but Ryan Rico's got a real shot here.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he's got a big leg. He's a big kid. And, that punter and kicker is always hard because those guys last forever in the league. So some of it is timing. Are you coming out at the right time? And I feel like if there's a team that needs a punter, if they take him, they won't regret it because he has an NFL leg.
We need a BYU guy in the league, specifically at punter, just so Pat McAfee has like a direct source to not only BYU, but like a punter from BYU.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
He needs more BYU content, if you know what I mean. He needs different content.
Yes, he does. Our friend Ryan Smith said as much.
Yeah.
It's time for new content. Maybe that's Ryan Rico as a punter with BYU. Signing days next Wednesday, and we see the writing on the wall. December is the big day now. Yeah. That's become the real signing day. But technically, the first Wednesday in February is also signing day. Yeah. So, what can you tell us about what to expect a week from now? Will there be any surprises or some things that are off the radar that we'll find out next Wednesday?
I think we'll sign a few more guys likely. It won't be very big, but I think they're really key pieces and very good players. So I think it'll be exciting to add to our group because I feel like our coaches did a really good job of targeting the right guys that we're looking for to build the roster. And I'm excited about the group of guys that have signed and the few guys that will sign now. And you'll always be, because of the changing world, if guys leave, you got to be looking for transfer portal positions. So we'll always be kind of watching that to see what pops up. If there's a guy that can really help your team, then you always go that. But this year we did not get into that quite as much. We didn't need to.
Yeah, and you're saying perhaps post-spring if a need arises?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You feel better about the BYU's relationship with the transfer portal this year overall?
Yeah, I think, it's such a changing dynamic because you got to fill needs, and sometimes if you really need a guy to step in and play right away, it's tough sometimes to go to that high school route, and that's where the transfer portal kind of is needed. And last year we lost a lot of guys, so we kind of needed to jump into that. The nice thing is we got some guys with multiple years that were in the portal. Mm-hmm. Which ideally I think you want to do because then you can kind of build some continuity and stuff like that. So I think we've done that, and I feel really good about the roster we've got coming back.
All right. I have to ask this. It's totally unrelated to anything we've been talking about, but you were a speedster. You still work out a ton. Okay. How many guys, if you lined up and raced on the 120 guys, of the 120 guys that are BYU football players
I could beat a few of them.
How many linemen could you beat, Justin?
If I can't beat our linemen, I'm in trouble. I know I can beat our linemen, that's for sure.
You're still sub 540. Let's go.
Yeah, I can get below 5 seconds for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I knew a guy one time that claimed he could.
Claimed he could, but he did not.
I've seen that clip before.
Yeah. You need to give me the speed training, okay? I need you to help me.
Dr. Main's got you. Best mustache in the game. Let's go.
Thanks, Justin. Great to talk to you.
Good to see you, man.